What's up guys, it's Geo and welcome to what should be push to rank 500 in the RU tier, but if you guys saw the update video this morning you will see that they are having a suspect test there, which is a little bit unfortunate, and so we're not going to be able to ladder an RU right now, but fortunately there is NU, so we're going to do some NU. I'm going to introduce this team and do as many episodes as I can with it. So, and hopefully NU doesn't announce a suspect. I know they're suspecting Combuskin soon, but we'll see. Anyway, so we have a hyper offense spam team that I built while I was on an airplane, so this may not be the best. I have done a little bit of testing and it looks okay. But looking at the team, we have lead Yuxi with light clay, of course levitate with reflect, light screen, stealth rock, and U-turn. Basic premise of Yuxi is to come in, get up rocks, get up screens, U-turn out to something. And then we also have Archeops here, no item because of acrobatics. We also have Defeatist and Roost, Earth Power, and Stone Edge for coverage. Then we also have Life Orb Shiftery, because Shiftery is amazing. Bullet Seed for early game sashes. Knockoff and Seed Bomb for obligatory stab, and Sucker Punch for priority. Moving on. We have mixed Electivire with Expert Belt, basically to lure Pharaoh Seed, with Wild Charge, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and Flamethrower. And then we also have Amistar, who is basically our setup sweeper on the team with Shell Smash, Ice Beam, and Hidden Power Grass. And then we have Specs Pyroar for some wall breaking, Fire Blast, Hyper Voice, Dark Pulse, and Flamethrower. Let's hop into the first battle in the NU tier. Shiftery is RU. Shiftery got moved to RU. That is wonderful. Well, we're going to make this last minute change right here. What's another thing in NU that looks great? Good things in NU. What are good things in NU? Good things in NU. What are some more good things in NU? I need to find things in NU. I need to find things in NU. Hariyama. I like Hariyama, so we're going to use Hariyama. We're going to give it Toxic Orb. We're going to give it Guts. And we're going to give it Close Combat, Fake Out, Bullet Punch, and Coverage. Earthquake, sure. Bulky Physical, go for it. Look for a battle, sweet. So now we have a legal team. And looking at this guy's team, it's a pretty bulky team with Articuno. He has Altano as a Wish Passer. He has Granbull as Intimidate to help check physical threats. He also has Lantern, which is kind of a problem, meaning I can't spam Evire as much as I want to. And I have to be wary of Amistar not being able to get past that thing. But we're going to lead with Yuxi. He leads with Granbull, which is fine. I'm anticipating some sort of a physical move. So I'm going to go for a Reflect here to weaken whatever move he wants to go for. And by the way, on my Yuxi spread, I run max speed, max HP as a bulky support. So he goes into Gourgeist Super. Gourgeist Super, this is fine with me. I'm going to light screen here. And then I should have gotten up my rocks first, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. And then U-turn out. I know I wasted a turn of screens, but it's I need rocks in order to check Articuno right now. So that Articuno just doesn't run amok on my team, because that'd be bad. Run amok. Ha! Anyways. So he's going to switch in a Lantern, which is fine. As I get up my rocks, I'm going to U-turn. I will outspeed him, and I think I'm going to go into Hariyama here. Because even if he statuses, Hariyama doesn't really mind it, and Hariyama nukes something with Earthquake. Maybe. It might nuke something with Earthquake. Actually, I'm going to go into Electivire, because I think I have Earthquake. Do I have Earthquake? Yeah, I have Earthquake. So I can go into Electivire. If he goes for his Electric Stab, then I get Motor Drive. I'm immune to it. That's great. He goes for Skull. Don't burn me, please. I don't get burned, which is amazing. So now I am free to Earthquake, Lantern. I get the Expert Belt boost. It is going to be quite enough to knock Lantern out. And now he just forfeits, which is great for me. Objectively Bad. That's actually kind of a cool name. We get to 1045. And actually looking at the ladder here real quick. We need to... Wow. We don't need to get that far in NU. We need to get to 1,138. But I suspect there's more good players at the bottom of the ladder because it is a smaller tier and whatnot. But anyway, we're grabbing another match. We get one versus a guy with Cleffa and this thing. So this is Baton Pass. I know that much. This is Baton Pass. I'm going to lead with Hariyama here because I'm going to fake out and then try to nuke something with Close Combat or Bullet Punch. Okay, there's that. I get the Guts boost on Toxic Orb, and I'm going to go for Close Combat here. Close Combat is about to nuke something. That does a lot of damage. That crit does a lot of damage, and he ends up forfeiting. We're up to 1,079. So we are rolling through the NU tier right now. This is actually really cool. This is really cool. So it looks like NU actually did become an official tier now because it is August. So it's no longer NU beta. But looking at this guy's team, he has Sock, which is a threat. Zangoose, which Toxic Poison Heal is a threat. He also has this, which is Smash Pass, and I don't like that at all. As a matter of fact, I'm going to lead with Pyroar here, fearing Smash Pass so much that I want to get a Specs Hyper Voice off on this thing in order to wall break it in the beginning, or, yeah, Specs Hyper Voice in the beginning. We're going to go ahead and start timer. Good luck, have fun, man. He leads with Gorgai Super, which is fine by me. He finds my Specs. That's also fun. I'm just going to Dark Pulse, though, because it hits Gorgai super effectively. It'll hit his Gorbis for neutral damage if he opts to switch to that. I can't do a whole lot about Sock switching in, but this hits 5 out of his 6 Pokemon for neutral damage. Actually, it hits 3 of his Pokemon for neutral damage and 2 for super effective damage. He goes out to Altaria. Hey, that did nothing. Oh my goodness, eating it up. I'm going to go on a Uxie, though. I know he's not Specs. He's a defensive set with Toxic. Okay, I can deal with this. I'm going to get on my rocks to break the Sturdy on Sock, which will help me a lot later in the match because I could potentially get a sweep as he just Cotton Guards up. That's fine, man. I got Amistar. I'm going to go ahead and late screen here and then set up my Reflect and then U-turn out so that I can give Amistar 8 turns of screens, which will help me a lot in this match, frankly, because Amistar is set to do some work. He does outspeed me, so actually no, I outspeed him. What am I thinking? But frankly, I'm not really sure what he can do to my Uxie. He's going to go ahead and drop a Draco, which is fine. I'm just going to U-turn. I do not fear another special attack at all. I know he's not going to Toxic, meaning that I get a pretty good opportunity to use Amistar to wall break a little bit here. I can potentially I can't talk all of a sudden. I can potentially set up a Shell Smash and maybe win from there. I'm actually going to calc this and look at me. Whoops, never mind, I didn't mean to do that. You guys can't see that, my bad. I have a calc open on another screen so that the calc will actually work. But I'm going to go ahead and calc as I Shell Smash. He ends up dropping another Draco, which is doing nothing. I'm going to Ice Beam here because I essentially force his switch into something. I outspeed the entirety of his team at this point. Something comes in and dies to +2 Amistar's Ice Beam. Even if he goes out into Gorbis, I have something for that. He chooses to sack Altaria, which is probably a pretty good play on his part. And I know I really only have 1 more attack, or 2 more attacks left with Omastar, so that's a bit unfortunate. But he goes into Sock. Okay, this thing may get Bullet Punch, or it may get Mach Punch. Either one of those I would not appreciate very much. He ends up outspeeding me, and he goes for the knockoff, gets rid of my Sash, which is fine. I'm going to knock him out with the Surf, as Toxic is going to take me down, which means that we are to a 5-4 game, which is fine with me, man. That is fine. I'm going to go into Archeops, though, because Archeops can do a lot of work to this guy's remaining Pokemon. He ends up going out into Gourgeist, which is fine. Gourgeist is about to get bopped by this Acrobatics. He leaves it in and burns me, which is actually a really good play on his part. I'm just going to Acrobatics again because my goal is to wall break as much as I can with Archeops before going into Hariyama. And then Hariyama's jaw. Oh, I forgot what. Okay, he ends up going for Protect. That's fine. I'm an idiot. I'm going to jump into Team Builder real quick and change something on Hariyama. I'm going to change Earthquake for Knockoff so that I can hit Ghosts. I just realized I needed to change that. Sorry, Hariyama was kind of a last-minute ordeal, as you guys saw. Because that'll allow Hariyama to hit things like Golurk pretty hard, especially after its Guts boost. And, yeah. So, looking at his remaining Pokemon and looking at my remaining Pokemon, I have a pretty solid way to win, which is, after Archeops goes down, I go into Uxie, set up a screen, potentially, and then go out into Electivire, which forces him into his Golurk, and Golurk just straight up dies, barring Sub Punch. If it's Sub Punch, I could be in trouble, but I'm just going to spam Acrobatics here until he kills me. He knocks me out this turn. Thank you very much. That actually helps me a lot. We're going to check Golurk's speed real quick. And we're going to check Electivire's speed. Alright, Electivire outspeeds him handily, which is great. So I'm going to go ahead into Evire here. Actually, I'm going to go out into Uxie and get up a Reflect, because Reflect is going to help me later in the match. I'm basically sacking Uxie here to a Shadow Punch, which I'm fine with, because now this allows me to go into Electivire and potentially win the game, because I can go for Wild Charge versus Gorbis and Zangoose, and we're lagging a little bit. I can go for Wild Charge versus Gorbis and Zangoose. I can go for Ice Punch and or Flamethrower versus Gourgeist, so this is great for me. I'm just going to take him out with the Ice Punch here. So he's probably going to go into Zangoose here, and frankly, I'm fine with that. Zangoose is the biggest remaining threat to my team, but I have enough priority that I think I can take it out. And this is actually going to be a pretty close match, because he's probably going to force me to lock myself into Dark Pulse if he still has Gourgeist remaining. Okay, he goes into Gorbis here, which frankly I don't see the reason in that play. If you want extra recoil damage on Evire, that's fine by me, man. Because I'm still behind a screen. You're gonna go into Gourgeist, who's gonna die to an Ice Punch or get knocked out by an Ice Punch, and then I have enough priority left that I think I can easily take down Zangoose. Yeah, he recognizes that this game is over, goes into Zangoose. I'm going to Wild Charge as he goes for the knockoff. That is a crit and does a lot of damage. He gets rid of my Expert Belt, but I'm going to be able to take him out with a Wild Charge of my own. So we're up to 1,001, which means we are almost where we need to be. We need to be to 1,138 in order to succeed. But looking at this guy's team, looks like he's running some variant of Sun, I would guess, with big rocky Boldor man, Gigalith, that's his name, with Gigalith as maybe like a Sunsetter and then Explosion, and then Ditto is annoying, so I can't set up with Almastar, and then he has his Chlorophyll Abuser and something that like specs Eruption probably. So I'm gonna lead with Uxie here. He leads with Executor. I'm gonna go for a Light Screen here. I'm not really sure what his aim is here. He may switch, because he may switch fearing a U-turn from Uxie, because that would actually hurt a lot. It's 4 times effective, and if I am any form of offensive Uxie, which don't run offensive Uxie, guys, run like Mesprit if you want to run like an offensive lead. But if I'm any form of offensive Uxie, I'm going to do a lot of damage to this Executor. But I'm just going to start the timer here and get up my Light Screen. He ends up going for Leech Seed, so he is Sub-Seed, which is actually kind of annoying. I want to U-turn here, and because I have my Light Screen up, he has 2 physical attackers on his team, so I'm just going to U-turn. That is 35%. He ate that up, and I'm going to go into Pyroar here, because if he subs, which I'm expecting him to do, he ends up Giga Draining. Okay, I'm fine with this. This just means I pretty much get to nuke something on his team. I'm actually going to go for the Dark Pulse. Okay. The reason there that I went for Dark Pulse is because if he wanted to switch into Gigalith to resist either one of my stabs, Gigalith was still going to take some mighty damage from that. And here comes Typhlosion. I don't really need Pyroar for anything else, so I'm just going to sack it to probably a Specs Eruption. Or it could be Scarf Eruption. That is another distinct possibility. But Specs Dark Pulse does pitiful damage. But he's Life Orb, so that's why his Earthquake did a lot. But I'm just going to take him out with another Dark Pulse here. He's kind of in a rough position, because he doesn't have the assets right now to set up for a Ditto Sweep, because I can just easily get behind screens if I want to. And then... okay, so I'm just going to take him out here. So Specs Pyro are doing some work in this match, already picking up 2 knockouts. He can easily go into something like a Molga and outspeed me, which might be his best course of action here. Because, oh, he just goes into Ditto. Okay, this is actually pretty good for me, because I can Dark Pulse here, and then we'll see what he locks himself in on too. He ends up locking himself in a Hyper Voice, which is his best play. But I'm going to go into Hariyama. And I'm just going to go straight away for a Fake Out here to make sure this Ditto can't move this turn, which is going to be great. and I already have great HP, so I have no problems going for close combat here. Close combat nukes something. He's not specs. That's not going to do anything. He ends up sacking his Ditto, which frankly is a really bad play, because now I'm free to set up with Almastar and pretty much win the game. I just have to sack Hariyama to whatever move I want, which is not good for him. Basically I sack Hariyama, I go into Yuxi, I get up my screens, I U-turn to Almastar, I Shell Smash, and I win. That's how the rest of this battle's going to go. But he ends up going for an Acrobatics, which is actually kind of a problem. But no, never mind, it's not a problem. I got Electivire. Electivire is in here, and Electivire is about to do some work. So he ends up U-turning, which is a good play on his part. He's probably going to go out into Big Puffy 6th Gen Dog. Can't remember his name. It's like a poodle. Furfrou. He ends up going into Gigalith, though. Okay. Hey, Gigalith took that really well. I want Electivire later to check Amogla. You guys get it. Flying Pikachu thing. I want Electivire to check that. So I'm going to go into Archeops here, predicting the Earthquake, as he ends up getting up his Rocks, which is also a pretty good play, because he can rack up some residual damage each turn. But I'm just going to go for the Earth Power and do some good damage to Gigalith, as he ends up getting Weakness Policy and going for the Stone Edge, which will take me out. So that's pretty cool. That's actually a really cool set. But at this point, I'm just going to go into Yuxi. I'm going to Reflect, and then I am going to try to win here. That is the game plan. He ends up going for Stone Edge. That is a lot, even behind Reflect, but I'm going to set up my light screen. And looking at Yuxi's defense, that is 297. 297. That is the number we need to remember. 297. So if Almastar's defense is more than that, I feel more than comfortable setting up a Shell Smash against that. Because, okay, there we go. Almastar is 286. Almastar is not as good. Not as good. But I'm going to go on Almastar anyway. And I'm just going to, let's see. You know what? I'm going to risk it. I'm going for the Shell Smash here. We're going to see if he knocks me out. He's able to knock me out with an Earthquake. So I just choked that match away. That is how to choke a match away, guys. In-depth tutorial on how to choke matches away by Geo. I should have just surfed and taken out Gigalith. I got greedy. But, you know, it happens. I'm going to take out Gigalith with the Ice Punch. And I still have the potential to win this game if he goes into Amolga now. Amolga? Whatever. I don't care. I'm going to go for a Wild Charge here to kind of scout how much damage it's going to do. If I get the crit, I could win. He actually outspeeds. That doesn't do that much damage, but he's going for Dark Pulses, and I'm behind screens, so this is okay. I'm just going to... Wow, he flinched me with the Dark Pulse. That seals it right there. I'm going to go for Flamethrower to try to hit him on the special side, and that did nothing. So he's going to be able to take me out. That is good game. I should not have set up a Shell Smash. So I will remember that next time. I'm down to 1,078. That is kind of disappointing, because we would have completed the challenge in one episode, but you know, it's whatever. So we're going to grab one more match with our Hyper Offense Spam team and do some work. That match I had in the bag, I just choked it away. Okay, there we go. So looking at this guy's team, Marowak is actually a really big threat. He's some sort of rain, probably rain balance, looking at his team. Although, why you have Typhlosion on a rain team is still kind of beyond me, but I'm going to lead with Yuxi here. He's probably going to lead Lumineon, because Lumineon is a pretty good rain setter or rain abuser. He leads with Marowak. Okay, I'm going to get up my Reflect here, and I'm going to scout how much damage this does. Hopefully he is faster than me, so I can get kind of a slower U-turn out into... Probably almost started to take this thing on, but he ends up switching into Lumineon, which is fine. I'm going to get up my screens, and should have probably gotten up Rocks. That's a thing. But he burns me with Scald. That's fine. I'm just going to U-turn, and what stops a Almastar sweep on his team right now? Goes for Scald. Don't get the burn. Thank you. Doesn't get the burn. This thing, I think, gets 2-hit KO'd by HP Grass. And the rest of his team gets worked by Almastar. So we're gonna leave Almastar in here. He gives me the speed boost with U-turn, and that's why I run weak armor, because especially when you come in and you're sashed or something, and you don't take any prior damage, then they hit you, they bring you down to your sash, you get the speed boost, you shell smash, and then you're at +3 speed, and since Omastar isn't that fast, you need every bit of speed you can get. So we're going to see what he goes into here. He ends up going into Marowak on my shell smash, so he's not going to appreciate this Surf. I don't think Marowak gets priority, and something dies. He can go into Parasect, but Parasect is weak to Ice Beam, and it's not going to appreciate taking a +2 Ice Beam from... Take a +2 Ice Beam. And he's not going to appreciate taking a +2 Ice Beam from Omastar. Typhlosion dies to Surf. Dunsparce can maybe take a Surf. I don't know, question marks. I'm not familiar with Dunsparce. Goes into Parasect here. I'm going to Ice Beam because I'm not going to switch out and lose my boosts regardless. I understand I'm 4 times weak to Seed Bomb, one of his stabs, but this is going to hurt him a lot. He's just doubling around, trying to wait out my screens. Now the question is, do I Surf or do I Ice Beam? I don't fear this Typhlosion, so I'm going to Ice Beam again, hoping that he goes back into Parasect. He ends up going into Lumineon, which is fine. I get the freeze, which is great. Honestly, I'm not even mad about that freeze because I built a UU stall team. I'm actually going to show something up on screen real quick. I'm gonna make a rate my team on Smogon and tell it in the form of comic strips. So like I made a stall rate my team and I was getting hacked a lot. Anyway, I went for HP Grass and knocked out his Lumineon, but he doesn't. I don't think he has anything to come in right now. I'm gonna Ice Beam Parasect. He can leave Parasect in if he wants. Parasect just straight up dies. So this is looking like an Omastar 6-0 sweep unless Dunsparce can take a hit, which is a distinct possibility. I'm not too familiar with the base stats of Dunsparce, but he ends up forfeiting, bringing us up to 1,114, meaning that we need to get to 1,138, so we're almost there. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Push to Rank 500 in the NU tier, even though it was a bit unexpected, please make sure to leave a like, because it really does help show support for the channel and the stuff that I'm doing here and all that great shenanigans. Additionally, make sure to answer today's comment question of the day, which is Kabutops or Omastar or Aerodactyl. Out of those Gen 1 fossils, I don't know what I'm thinking. Gen 1 fossils, which 3 is your favorite? Which one of the 3 is your favorite? And with that, I urge you guys to subscribe if you guys are enjoying the constant content. And with that, I'll catch you on the flip-flop.